Good evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Grant Olson is away tonight. I'm Jefferson Robbins. We've got a lot of news to cover for you before heading into this big weekend, but first, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. Gorgeous day today, as you can see from our Stein Hill Road Local-Tel Sky-Fi camera looking down on the upper valley. We had just the right amount of cloud cover and temperatures that just managed to kiss the 80s. This weekend's weather outlook calling for a bit more of the same into Saturday, although some indicators now say the never-ending spring of 2022 is finally coming to an end. We're looking at a bit of a heat wave for next week, which could push temperatures up into the more seasonally appropriate 90-degree range. Dan Kuntz will be along a little bit later with the full weather forecast for this weekend. But now some of the stories we're following for you tonight. Juvenile sentences of 30 and 60 days for two expelled students who illegally entered Eastmont Junior High during class hours as part of a gang-related show of force. Land managers at the Chelan County PUD aim to battle the bloodsuckers as mosquitoes come out to play in Columbia River natural areas. And the presence of invasive aquatic plant life in Lake Chelan is only increasing, but a new study may help to control their spread. But first, our top story tonight. Imagine this. You're driving a tractor through a cherry orchard when a helicopter falls out of the sky on top of you. That's what happened to Logan Schneider on Wednesday, just 2 days before the East Wenatchee man was to turn 19. The Hiller UH-12 aircraft became snared in power lines while drying off a neighboring orchard and crashed into the orchard on Weaver Road near Orondo that's owned by Logan's brother. Logan, who's a former Eastmont High School student-athlete, managed to get out from under the wreckage and save the helicopter pilot as the aircraft and tractor were both consumed by flames. Thanks to his actions, both he and the pilot survived with painful but non-life-threatening injuries. Recovering at home yesterday, Logan told NCWLIFE how the incident unfolded.
I got a text from my brother asking if I could go blow off his cherries, and I said, yeah, I can do that for you. So then I headed over there, and I was on my last row of blowing off the cherries, and I saw the helicopter, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I had noise-canceling headphones on, and all of a sudden, I just hear something so loud above me, and I look up, and I see the helicopter hit the power lines, and then it come crashing down, and it hit me on the tractor and pinned me against the steering wheel. And somehow, I don't know how, but I managed to get myself out. And when I got out, I could hear the pilot screaming for help. So right then and there, I knew I had to go back and get him out. So I looked behind me, and I saw him hanging upside down in his seat, and he couldn't get his belt or like his buckle off. So then I ran over there, and there's flames everywhere, and I had to reach in and unclip him. And then when I unclipped him, I pulled him a couple trees out away from there. Then he finally got to his feet, and then that's when everything just basically exploded on fire, and there's fires like 30 feet in the air. They took me in the ambulance with the guy, and we went to the hospital. I'm burned on my arm, and I got cuts all over my back. I'm lucky to be alive.
Now, today is Logan's 19th birthday. He says he shares his birthday with the helicopter pilot. That gentleman, thanks in part to Logan, turns 40 today. Now, two teenagers who alarmed Eastmont school officials by charging through the halls of Eastmont Junior High back in May have pleaded guilty to charges including burglary and obstructing police. The two boys, both age 15, had been expelled for gang-related disciplinary offenses. On May 31st, they entered the junior high and ran through the halls wearing gang colors, one of them carrying a knife. After entering their pleas last Friday, one youth was given 30 days of confinement plus 12-month supervision after release. The other, who carried the knife and tried to kick a police officer while being arrested, pleaded to 4 counts and earned 60 days plus 2 years supervision. Judge Brian Huber also banned the two from Eastmont school property and ordered them not to associate with known gang members. Well, if you're thinking there are more mosquitoes than usual in the Wenatchee Valley this year, you're not alone. The Chelan County PUD says high river flows and a wet spring have led to more of the blood-sucking pests. On July 19th, the PUD will be taking measures to reduce the mosquito populations around Confluence State Park and the Haran Natural Area. The PUD plans to use a larvicide known by the brand name Vectolex. They say the pellets are safe for use around people and pets. If all goes as scheduled, the PUD will begin applying the larvicide at 8 a.m. July 19th. Well, invasive aquatic plants have become more prevalent in Lake Chelan than they were 8 years ago. That's the finding of a 2021 scientific survey that found 520 acres of invasive weeds in Lake Chelan's Wapato and Lower Lucerne basins. The main species of concern are Eurasian milfoil and curly-leaf pondweed. The study, by Four Peaks Environmental, found a much wider distribution of milfoil in particular compared to a similar report in 2014. Survey organizers say the findings will help future control efforts, but they clearly indicate the invasive weeds are well established in Lake Chelan and have the potential to spread further. When we come back, Congresswoman Kim Schreier meets with growers to hear concerns about this year's endangered cherry crop. And a local cannabis farmer repays thousands of dollars he allegedly stole from public assistance. I'm Jefferson Robbins. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Traditional values and innovation in honoring the life of each family we serve is part of the ministry of Heritage Memorial Chapel. Our staff is committed to walk with your family with compassion through this time of grief. We are here to help and here to serve, the right kind of help when you need it most. Heritage Memorial Chapel.
Kim Schreier and Joe Biden's reckless spending worsened inflation, and liberals are defunding our police.
I'm Reagan Dunn. As a federal prosecutor and on the county council, I've fought to keep us safe. I'm ready for the battle in Congress to fire Nancy Pelosi and stop Joe Biden's reckless spending. I'll fight to make our streets safe again, and so you can afford to fill up your gas tank. I'm Reagan Dunn, and I approve this message because we need to defeat Kim Schreier to get America back on track.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. A Chelan cannabis farmer accused of defrauding the state has pleaded to a lesser charge and repaid more than $17,000. 59-year-old Jeffrey Oberfelder pleaded guilty last week to one count of third-degree theft and was sentenced to 30 days of confinement with 27 days to be served on home monitoring. The Department of Social and Health Services said Oberfelder received $17,700 in food benefits from the state over 3 years, without declaring more than $1 million his business earned in cannabis sales. He was initially charged with first-degree theft, perjury, and false verification for public assistance. Oberfelder maintained his innocence while entering his plea. Court records show he has now reimbursed the full amount to DSHS. Well, westbound travelers on Snoqualmie Pass are likely to encounter delays most of next week as state crews repair bridge decks along that highway. The Washington State Department of Transportation says there will be 24-hour-a-day lane closure on Interstate 90 just west of the summit beginning Monday and continuing through Thursday. The bridges under repair are at Franklin Falls and at Denny Creek. Well, record cold temperatures this spring and heavy rains that continued into summer pose a real threat to north central Washington cherry crops. Today, Congress member Kim Schreier met with major fruit producers in the Wenatchee Valley to learn how this year's bizarre weather might affect their bottom line. The 8th District Democrat sits on the House Agriculture Committee. She spoke with Wes Matheson, Mike Wade, and other produce executives at the Stemilt headquarters in Wenatchee's old station.
Well, there were a lot of takeaways. I came today to just take the pulse on the fruit industry. What has happened with this prolonged winter, with the late rain, with the hail, and how has that disrupted crops? And I've learned a ton today. Part of it is that we will not know the full impact of this crazy weather probably for months. That our farmers, our orchardists need some insurance and assurance that we'll have their backs. We talked about the Farm Bill and some of the changes needed. That involves some of those assurances. It also involves really thinking about specialty crops as we do this. When the harvesting season is delayed by weeks, you can have workers who you are paying for sitting idle, and on top of that, they get penalized. Just like last year when we had record heat, I added heat, not just drought, but excessive heat as a subcategory where you could get that extra insurance. We are doing the same thing this year with weather, rain and cold snaps, because they've affected. And we know that there will be some effect just because the blossoms were impacted, and so we know fewer blossoms means fewer apples and cherries, but it can also impact the quality and the ability to store them successfully. And so again, we may not know the impacts until later, but I want to make sure that they have protection.
Well, an Espelum woman has died as a result of a highway crash that took place more than a week ago. The Washington State Patrol says 76-year-old Darlene M. Wilder passed away Thursday at Sacred Heart Medical Center in Spokane. Wilder was the passenger who was critically injured in a June 27th accident at Highway 174 and Leahy Road just south of Bridgeport. Troopers say the driver of her vehicle, Keely Boozer Wilder, pulled her 2015 Subaru Outback off Leahy Road into the path of a 2006 Jeep Commander traveling west on the highway. The Jeep struck the passenger side of Wilder's vehicle. Keely Wilder was cited for failure to yield in that collision. The oncoming driver was not injured. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, what could the big quake mean for Washington's biggest city? That plus weather and sports still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Yes, it's me. It's my husband. I think there's something the matter with him.
It was a feeling that I'll never forget, like being able to meet them and know that he survived.
Okay, tell me what's happening. Is he conscious?
No, he's not. He's not.
Okay, take a deep breath for me. I'm getting you help.
Rivercom means to me that I still have my husband here with me. They're the ones that guided me through saving his life.
I'm Sheriff Brian Burnett. I've developed local relationships, built trust regionally, and brought statewide resources to build a safer Chelan County. As your sheriff, I will continue to enhance safety during these dangerous times. Now is not the time to get soft. Trust my continued leadership to protect our quality of life and your constitutional rights. Your vote matters. Vote Brian Burnett, Chelan County Sheriff.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. A new study by the State Department of Natural Resources says there is a strong likelihood of a significant earthquake on the Seattle Fault in the next 50 to 500 years, one that could generate a tsunami waves as high as 42 feet at the Seattle Great Wheel. Commissioner of Public Lands Hillary France used the giant Ferris wheel as a backdrop Thursday while she discussed the study.
The Seattle Fault Zone runs across the Puget Sound and through our state's largest population center, the city of Seattle. It's imperative that we understand the hazards that are posed by an earthquake and subsequent tsunami along that fault. Recent research published by the Department of Natural Resources sheds light on where the worst impacts will be from the tsunami when, and this is not when, this is when, not if, actually, a quake strikes the Seattle Fault. We will have a quake at some point, and the question is just when will that happen? Now, the last earthquake on the Seattle Fault occurred about 1,100 years ago. The geologic record indicates a history of smaller, more frequent earthquakes every 700 years or so, placing us, unfortunately, well within the window for a seismic event. Scientists estimate about a 5 to 7% chance of an earthquake along the Seattle Fault in the next 50 years. According to our modeling, an earthquake of 7.5 magnitude would put where I'm standing right now, where you are all standing right now, under about 10 feet of water. Harbor Island, which houses so much of our maritime infrastructure, would be under as much as 40 feet of water, with tsunami waves reaching inland as far as Lumen Field and T-Mobile Park. Understanding these potential risks is critical to our preparation efforts to withstand them.
Three, two, one. And a good Friday. I am Dan Coons filling in for Grant Olson, taking a well-deserved 3-day vacation. And of course, before we get into the nuts and bolts of the weather, let's take a look at what's happening out here today. Had a few more clouds than was originally anticipated when I did the forecast this morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. But all in all, I've kind of a pleasant day today, a little windy at times. And also, I don't know if you noticed this or not, it's also a little muggy. Seemed like the humidity was a bit high, which we don't usually get for this time of the year in this desert kind of climate. 83 was our high temperature today, still a little bit below normal. 86 is now our normal high as we get deeper and deeper into summer. In fact, the last 5 days in a row, we've had temperatures just a little bit below normal. Our record high of 103, we're not even going to get close to that during the forecast period. As you see, once again, no rain. And you notice the days are getting a little bit shorter. The sunset's hovering right around 9 o'clock as the sunrise. That's getting a little bit later as we get deeper and deeper into summer. Let's take a look at your highest temperatures for Saturday around north central Washington. We'll start out in the Columbia Basin as we are prone to do. Moses Lake, always a little bit warmer, of course. They'll be at 85. Ephrata, even warmer still at 87. They're going to have a warmer start to the day in Ephrata. Quincy, 85. Ellensburg, 82 with a little windy at times. Let's go up to the Columbia River. Here in the big city of Wenatchee, we'll top off at 84 on Saturday. Cashmere, 84. Leavenworth and Lake Wenatchee, always a few degrees cooler. Chelan, 85. And Omak, a couple of degrees cooler. They're going to have a few more clouds up in Omak tomorrow than we're going to have down here. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. Right now, there's a flat ridge of high pressure. That's allowing those high clouds to come in a little bit. It's also going to make the breezes kick up a little bit too. You'll notice it's going to be a little bit windy on Saturday, but the strongest winds are probably going to be Saturday night into Sunday. As we get into Saturday and Sunday, the winds are going to start dying down a little bit, and we'll start gradually seeing those temperatures rise up. A high pressure ridge is going to start coming in, and it's going to set up, and it's going to slowly start moving to the east into the Montana area. And as that happens, slowly but surely, our temperatures each day are going to get a little bit warmer and a little bit warmer and a little bit warmer. And as it stands right now, it looks to be probably Tuesday, our hottest day of the year, and the high pressure ridge is going to really move into Montana. It's going to be scorching hot in Montana and down south in California as well. They're going to be well into the triple digits. Once again, the warmest temperatures in our area are definitely going to be out of Moses Lake. Moses Lake can get to 100 degrees on Monday, certainly Tuesday. Again, Tuesday looks to be the hottest day. Look how warm it's going to be. Look at all that red stuff on Tuesday. And then a slight cool down as that high pressure ridge begins to work its way farther and farther east. And that's going to allow a low pressure ridge to come in off the coast of British Columbia. It's not a big dramatic change, but it is going to start cooling this down a little bit as we won't be over the center of that ridge anymore. We'll be more on the peripheral edge of it, which is why we're going to get a little bit cooler once we get to Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But still, summertime weather is also the long-term forecast for most of north central Washington. So if you're waiting for summertime, it's finally here. Let's get to it in detail. Again, 83 was our high today. Wasn't bad at all, although we did have more clouds than we were anticipating. 57 for the overnight low tonight. Little breezy on Saturday, I should say, and Sunday for that matter. On Saturday, again, a little bit of those pressures, gradients are going to tighten up a little bit. We'll have a little bit of wind, about a high of 84, just a little bit below normal. We'll do 84 again on Sunday. Very few clouds, however, on Sunday. And that high pressure ridge I was telling you about is really going to get entrenched on Monday. Look how warm we're going to be on Tuesday, by far the warmest day of the year. And then a slight cool down temperature-wise on Wednesday and Thursday. As far as next weekend is concerned, right now it looks like we may be even cooler still, but we'll know more about that on Monday and Tuesday of next week. That's your forecast. We'll turn it back over to Jefferson here in just a couple of minutes. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
We get it. Tent camping can be a nightmare. You freeze all night and sweat all day. Well, now you can ditch the tent and camp in comfort during the Click It RV Tent Trade-In event. Bring us your old tent and get $1,000 towards your RV purchase during the month of July. As always, we've got the best price, selection, and service in the Northwest. Visit any one of our 4 locations in Spokane, Tri-Cities, Moses Lake, or Milton Freewater today. The Tent Trade-In event, going on now at Click It RV.
The NCWLIFE channel offers marketing packages that help you build your brand and sell your products and services. From traditional TV ads to targeted digital campaigns, let us help you build your customer base. Call NCWLIFE channel today.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCWLIFE channel.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel. Happy Friday. Dylan Moore had one of the most interesting home runs you are ever going to see, and you're going to see it shortly. And Marco Gonzalez, the former Apple Sox, pitched pretty darn well. Good start to the 4-game series for the Seattle Mariners. They knocked off Toronto last night. The final was 8-3. Cal Raleigh had a home run as well, but the highlight is definitely Dylan Moore's home run. Check it out.
With 6 innings, I'm just giving up the 1 earned run. Overall this year, 87 2/3, 49 strikeouts over 32 walks. Right back, Marcos snares it shoulder high. Toro the low throw, and it's on to first base for the double play. Number 7 gets it started for the Mariners.
First and third for the Mariners with 1 out, no score, and here is Carlos Santana.
Smoked into center field for a base hit. Here comes Julio. Carlos Santana, 4 batters into the ball game. He puts the Mariners in front. It's an RBI single, 1-0. And a solid line drive. It's on the changeup. Situation for the Mariners, taking advantage of some base runners early. Here comes Cal Raleigh. 2 outs, runners on the corners for the Mariners. Ground ball. Espinal boots it. Can't field it cleanly. Crawford scores. Suarez is off the bag and out at third base.
Rio Moreno, 22-year-old rookie catcher for the Blue Jays, hitting .280 on the season. And another swinging bunt. Suarez charges, throws, doesn't get him, and it sails down the line. Gurriel in to score. Chapman will stop at third, Moreno into second. And the Blue Jays, well, they're not hitting rockets this inning, but they've got their first run of the night.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how hard you hit them. It's not how many runs are going to touch home plate.
Out to left field. This is driven back. Gurriel fielding for the wall. And it's over the fence. It's out of his glove. It's an assist from Gurriel to left. Dylan Moore, a home run with a nice bow wrapped around it.
Gurriel had a chance for it, but it glanced off the glove and lands on the other side of the fence. Holy smokes.
In and out of the glove like a wet bar of soap.
Thank you very much. You know, Jose Canseco has said, I had it worse.
Just could not squeeze it. And it's Moore's 5th home run of the season to make it 3-1 Mariners.
Suarez.
Pulled. Fair ball past Chapman. Not an easy thing to do. Crawford is in. Santana motors home. Suarez throttles back to first base. It's a 2-run single. The Mariners hang a crooked number in the 3rd inning. It's a 5-1 Mariners lead. And a solid base hit. That's on the breaking ball. Right down the line. Mariners have hit the ball hard a few times here in this inning. Suarez drives in a couple.
So 3 consecutive hits here by the Mariners. 1 out, runner at first.
Smoked. Right field. Back and gone. Home run. Pour it on. Cal Raleigh.
Man, jumping all over Lawrence. 4 consecutive hits.
Out in a hurry, number 11. And the Mariners blow it open. It's a 7-1 lead.
Errors, fewest in baseball. Swinging a ground ball to the hole. It's short, diving, stopped by J.P. Crawford. Gets up, 1 up, throw to first in time. Holy smokes, what a play by J.P. Crawford. You talk about some great defense. The Mariners continue to make incredible plays. J.P. Crawford diving to his right, gets up on the grass in left field, a 1-hop strike to Carlos Santana, just in time to rob Chapman. Eugenio Suarez.
This is pelted out to left, and this is gone. Watch out, Edgar's incoming. Hey, Eugenio Suarez, number 14. It's the Mariners' third round tripper tonight. No help needed. It's an 8-3 Mariners lead.
This is crushed. 89 miles an hour at the bottom of the zone. He drops the barrel on it.
Sits, including a double. Frazier out in left field. He puts it away, and the Mariners win it. They are hot. They've won 5 in a row, and they get back to 500 for the first time since early May.
As you heard, the Mariners are now 42-42. First time they've been at the 500 mark since May 3rd. If you go back to June 19th, they were 10 games under 500. They've gone 13-3 since then, and they've won 5 in a row. Game 2 of the 4-game set is tonight. The big rookie, George Kirby, will throw for the Mariners. And the only way you can watch tonight's game is on Apple TV Plus, which sucks because I don't have it. Wenatchee Apple Sox Garrett Gores tossed 6 2/3 shutout innings, but unfortunately by the time he came in, they were already losing 4-0, and they went on to lose. The final was 4-2 last night to Kelowna. Gores came in relief with runners at second and third in the bottom of the first inning, and the Apple Sox trailing 4-0. He retired each of the next 9 hitters in order before he even allowed his first base runner. He struck out 5, including 2 in the 7th when he stranded. The bases loaded. The Apple Sox scored twice in the 5th inning, but they stranded 11 men on the base paths. That's the 3rd straight game that the Apple Sox have left double-digit runners on the base paths. The Sox scored just 5 runs in their 3-game series, despite entering the games with the 3rd most runs scored in the West Coast League. Next up, the Nanaimo Night Owls. They're still in Canada, and this is the only 3 games they're going to play against Nanaimo all year long. In fact, they've never even played Nanaimo before because the Night Owls are not going to come down to Wenatchee later on this year. It's Kids Bike Night tomorrow night at Wenatchee Valley's Super Oval. Kids under 12 get in free, and the WVSO has teamed up with a bunch of sponsors. They're going to give away over 100 bikes free to kids. The Johnson Electric Bump to Pass highlights the action. Also, the Dixie Heating and Air Conditioning Thunder Cars, the Jerry's Auto Supply Pro Late Models, the Plum Perfect Roadrunners, and the Angel Bill Bonds Bandoleros. Gates open at 4:30. Racing starts at 8. Tickets can be had at WVSO.com. By the way, racing starts at 6, I should say. And finally, the Wenatchee Valley Skyhawks are in the championship game of the American West Football Conference. It's on Saturday night. The game is called the American West Bowl, and it pits the Skyhawks against the undefeated Tri-City Rush. The Skyhawks punched their ticket to the championship by beating Idaho 80-70 2 weeks ago on the road. The Rush are the defending champions. They have not lost a game in their 2 years of even being a team. The game is tomorrow night at 8 o'clock at the Hapo Center in Pasco. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. Have a great weekend. Jefferson, back to you.
Dan, thank you. And now let's check in with Dan Kuntz again for a look at what's coming up Monday morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
Thanks, Jefferson. Hope everybody has a nice weekend. Get out and enjoy this weather. And then when we go back to work on Monday, I can't read the teleprompter. Hold tight. I need to get my glasses, Jefferson, just a minute. Oh, much better. Yeah, join me on Mondays. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll have your week-long weather forecast, everything that happened in the ever-widening world of sports, whatever news developed over the weekend, we'll have it for you as well. We invite you to start your day Monday morning live and local with Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with me, Dan Kuntz. I'll see you at 7 a.m. on Monday. Jefferson, back to you.
Frankly, I think the nose gives him a bit of dash. And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or on our website, NCWLIFE.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we would like to hear from you. You can send us an email, news@ncwlife.com, or give us a call, 888-6295. That's 888-NCWL. I'm Jefferson Robbins. Thanks for being with us. Grant Olson's back here on Monday. Have a great weekend.
It has really been a great partnership between Succession and NCWLIFE. It's not always easy to sit in front of a camera or a microphone, but you guys have made it a really nice process.
Connect with us on Networked as we introduce you to the people and organizations who are leading innovation in the region. Get inspired, engaged, and networked right here on the NCWLIFE channel.